What is the story behind Mike Zito going to Texas?
Well, the story behind going to Texas is it's pretty simple, and it's personal also.
Welcome to Southeast Texas, home of oil refineries, crawfish, oil refineries, seafood, oil refineries.
I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. I lived there most of my life. I've been in Southeast Texas now for about 10 years. Live on the Gulf Coast. It's very different than South St. Louis, very different where I grew up. It's kind of like small town living, but on the Gulf Coast. So it's just not anything like growing up in the middle of the city at all. And I didn't plan Southeast Texas like that's where I was going to go. I just, I kind of landed there, and that was running away from drugs and alcohol and kind of on a bad run, and I end up in Southeast Texas. And fell in love and got my life together, got cleaned up, and got my family back and got back on track and started making music.
Where I live is Nederland, Texas, home of the Nederland Bulldogs.
Things have really been successful for me since I've been in Southeast Texas. It's the community, the area. It's not a glamorous place where I live. It's not fancy. It's not romantic, but it is romantic. Like I think most people will be able to relate to. It's the community. It's the people. It's the family. You look around in the video that I shot, and it's like doesn't look like anywhere where something fantastic takes place. But people will relate, that like, hey, just in the community where I live, this is where it's my life. It's where I live. It's where I built my family, and that's the story for me. The idea really came around when I was reading some books on Texas history. And I got a chapter that was called Going to Texas. And basically, in the early 1800s, guys would get in trouble and they would run to Texas, which was Mexico. And it was a shame on their family back home that they ran away, and left their family behind. And in Texas, a lot of these guys got their lives together, got their families back, ended up, doing really well in Texas. So reading that, I thought, well, that's what I did. That's exactly what I did, So I wrote a song. I wrote the song Gone to Texas, and I thought, now that's a really good jumping off point for a record. It's a good theme, good story. Why not write some more songs about the area, incorporating the style of music down here that's kind of bluesy and swamp pop and country and rock and roll. They kind of mix it all up on the Gulf Coast, And so I thought, well, I could write some songs like that. I could bring in some of my heroes. I could kind of tell this story about the area and just, all the things that I love about it.
This is Tex Ritter Park. Nederland is the home of Tex Ritter, singing cowboy. This is also the windmill, the Nederland windmill.
They're all written Mike Zito originals. Talk to me about who wrote the tunes.
Did I write all the songs on the album? I did not write all the songs on the album. There are 3 cover songs, and that was part of the idea of putting the album together, like telling the story. I wanted to bring in some music from where I live, So there's a Lightning Hopkins song called Don't Think 'Cause You're Pretty. He's from Houston. He's the epitome of South Texas blues, man, just raw poet. He's one of my favorites. So I wanted to bring that in. There's a Delbert McClinton song because I wanted to bring in the country aspect because I love the Texas country style of music. And to me, Delbert is Texas music. I mean, he's country, he's blues, he's rock and roll. He does it all. And so I wanted to have one of his songs. And then the very last song on the album is Blind Willie Johnson, Let Your Light Shine on Me. And he is, Blind Willie died in Beaumont, Texas. He was a minister who died there. He's buried in a grave that they just found. They couldn't find it for years. You'll see that in the video. Very near my wife where she works. and it's a great tune. So.
The Gulf of Mexico.